Hello and welcome to our section 2, lesson number 8 of our drawing course. Today we will discuss about understanding the rule of thirds and other composition techniques. But in order to understand the rule of thirds and other composition technique and also the principles of design, we have to discuss about the golden ratio, divine proportion. The golden ratio, when applied to life events, serves as a guide to help you direct your attention to the present rather the past and future. Too much focus on the past and future results in inactivity in the present. Luca Pacioli, in the Renaissance, wrote a famous book called Divina Proporzione, which was also illustrated by Leonardo da Vinci. So if we have a square, rectangle actually, and this is A, this is B, and this is A plus B. A golden rectangle with long side A and short side B, and a square with sides of length A, they combine to form a golden rectangle with a long side A plus B. This is a golden ratio syntheticized. So in order to obtain the proportion, we have a formula which is A plus B divided by A equals A divided by B equals phi. Phi equals 1.618033, which is a number that express the divine proportion. If we go further into details and extrapolate this to the drawing, we can exactly establish the points of interest when somebody looks in a drawing which has these proportions. So if we have a sheet of paper or I don't know, a canvas or whatever, yeah, and it has these proportions, yeah, A plus B, and we draw the diagonals. we will have a certain points where these diagonals, they cross. Here we have the points. So these points will represent the area where the human eye is looking when you show and you wanna make a composition. You wanna design a composition. This is the area where the eye is looking. This is the most important points, the crossing of these lines. Now let's discuss about understanding the rule of thirds and other composition techniques. Going and starting from the golden ratio, the rule of thirds is a compositional technique that is used in both art and photography to create a balanced and visually pleasing composition. The basic principle of the rule of thirds is to divide the picture plane into a grid of 9 equal parts using the 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines, as I will show you here now. The points where the lines intersect, cross each other, are considered to be the most visually interesting area of the composition. So, here, 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 here. And it's often suggested that important elements should be placed at these intersections. The rule of thirds will help you to create a sense of balance and harmony within a composition and may help you to guide whatever's viewer's eyes through drawing or a photograph. This is a more simplified diagram of what I showed you before when explaining the golden ratio. If we go deeper into the rule of thirds and make the diagonals of the square and the rectangle, then we will see that somewhat these points coincide. So we can see that this point coincides, this point coincides, this point coincides. Yeah. So it's not difficult, and you can start any composition before you make a thumbnail and just draw the diagonals and arrange the objects or the the people that you are painting, or whatever you want to do in your composition. We should discuss further the principles of design, which I will just enumerate them for you. And then very shortly I will show you some examples. The principles of design are the following. Balance. It's the way elements are arranged in the composition so that they feel evenly distributed on both sides of the design. Contrast. Contrasting elements in design create visual interest and make the composition more engaging, as we discussed last lesson with my horse that he wanted to break free. Yeah. Emphasis. Emphasis is the element or area in a design that stands out, either through color or size or placement, and draws the viewer's attention. We discussed in the previous lessons about it. Proportion. Proportion also relates to the size and scale of the elements and how they relate to one another. It is essential to design a well-balanced drawing. Yeah. Movement. Movement in a design refers to the way of viewer's eye moves through the composition. Creating movement through flow, lines, or repetition can increase visual interest. I will show you an example of movement. Here we have a dancer. Yeah, we have a dancer and she moves. And in order to show the movement, we use diagonals. We use diagonals. This is a kind of spiral, yeah, which is showing you, expressing the movement. Unity. Unity is an essential principle of design that relates to how the elements of design work together in a creative, cohesive whole. Repetition, we also discussed last time, creates patterns and visual interest in a design. And it makes the drawing more recognizable and memorable. Rhythm. Rhythm in a design is created by repeating visual elements in a way that creates a pleasing flow of pattern. We discussed also last time. Harmony in a design is achieved when all elements work together and produce a cohesive and visually pleasing result. And of course we have to discuss about space. Space it's the area around and between the elements of a drawing, yeah, and the proper use of space will help us to create a balanced and visually appealing drawing. There are two kinds of space. It's the positive space, the space occupied by the principal actor of the drawing. Here it's a guy who plunges into the space. Yeah, this is a positive space. And everything around him, it's the negative space. So this is a positive space here. And this is the negative space here. Using correctly this space will make you, will help you to draw very well and balanced composition. So artists can create visually engaging and effective composition, and the idea is to effectively communicate their ideas and intent. It is important to remember these techniques, but they are not strict rules. There are also important rules that can be used to create an interesting artwork. Thank you very much.